how did you get involved in this project?
I was going through a really sort of bad time with my health. I was really unwell. I was sort of craving for someone to just tell me what was going on, really. I can't remember if I had been diagnosed or if I just knew that I'd had it at that time and I was waiting for a diagnosis, but it was quite a long time ago now. But I just remember being in a really horrible state of mind. No one around me knew what was going on. I mean, I was basically bedbound. I had a really awful time at school. I'd had no support at school, and I was just wanting to hear like about someone who was going through the same sort of thing. And so I put my pride aside and I went onto a sort of ME forum, Facebook forum, and I put on there a really open and it was a really long one, if I can remember, sort of just explaining a bit about me and wanting to hear from someone about their struggles at school and how they cope with it and how they managed to do their exams. I was reaching out for sort of someone to help with that aspect, because that was what I was really struggling with the school aspect. I was a really keen learner and I wanted to do great things and I still wanted to achieve, and no one was helping me do that, so I wanted some support in that sense. I didn't know if I was going to get anything. I was just sort of reaching, and I remember getting loads of replies and like really heartfelt ones and saying that they're so sorry that I was so young, and it went on. And then I remember getting a comment underneath from you, and you said that you had gone through the same thing when you was younger, and that you'd had same sort of struggles with school. And yeah, it was almost like I just knew in that moment that you were the person that I was going to get this help from, this support from, in that sense. You seemed really open and willing to talk, and you said message me if you've got any questions, and I did. I just came straight in. I was just like these questions. I can't remember what questions it was now, and I remember you answering really, really detailed, and you sort of opening my eyes to the possibilities of doing things from home. And you mentioned how you've got your film company and those various aspects of creativity, and you sort of engaged my mind to want to be able to do things from home, like writing poetry. And that's when we sort of built this this relationship in a way where I was able to come home, like come away, step back from the mess that was my head at the moment and really delve into a poem, and then come to you and show you this, and then we sort of worked together, we collaborated, and you brought me on, and it was amazing. I felt like I was achieving something even from my home, even from miles and miles and miles away from you. I felt like I had someone who really got me, who really understood and was really trying to push me and help me when I'd got so little support at school. So yeah, that was how I came into the project, and that's why it's so heartfelt and why it really means so much to me, because it brought me out of a rut. It really did. It brought me out of feeling like there was no hope.
So what was the process like for episode 4?
I wrote the poem and I didn't think it was good enough to go into this, and I thought that I'd probably have to like do a couple more and keep on sending them. But I remember you saying that you can definitely work with this poem, and you put it into the script. And I remember you sending me the script, and you called me a script advisor, and I remember reading the script, and I felt like this overwhelming sense of resemblance between me and this girl who was going to be, well, the script basically. I found like myself sort of putting myself in the script. It was about me. I felt it was really similar, and it was gut-wrenchingly similar. And when I got to the point of coming to the premiere to actually watch this thing that had been filmed, it'd been put together, and I wasn't sure what I was expecting. I knew that it was going to be really real, and I knew that I was going to get emotional, but I didn't feel the full sort of emotions until I sat down with everyone who'd made it, with you, obviously, the first time I'd met you, after speaking to you for so long. and really watching this amazing episode, and it brought me to just it made me a wreck. I was an absolute wreck, because it was so accurate. And so the process for me, it has been like this incredible journey. At the beginning I didn't think it was going to ever happen. I thought, this is just a little bit of, this man's trying to bring me out of the rut. Like he's seen that I'm a vulnerable and like upset or emotional girl, and he's trying to help me. And I never thought that it'd get to the point of, actually, I'm a part of this. My poem is in a show that I've written, that I've been a part of, that it was mental. It was just mental for me. It was mind-boggling. It was something that I just never expecting would ever happen, coming from just a few messages that we sent back and forth right at the beginning. It was just mental that it all happened. And I mean, I missed my prom because I had a really awful time at school, and I missed my prom. I didn't want to go to my prom, and that was just, I just thought, you don't deserve me there. And I came to this premiere, and I was sort of thinking, oh my God, like what if it's I don't know, bad, and what if the poem sounds like bad in it, and I was worried about it. And then I came, and it was like, no, I'm so glad that I came to this rather than go to the prom, because I felt such a huge sense of achievement by being there and bringing myself out. And I remember I wore the most outrageous outfit because I'd missed my prom, and I was going to wear the thing that I was going to wear to my prom. And I remember even being there and being really like extra and completely different to everyone else. I felt comfortable. I felt that this was my happy place, and I really enjoyed the whole process.
Were you excited to return?
Yes, of course I was excited. I was sort of excited because I knew that I was going to have to write another poem again, and that was going to be incorporated. And I was excited to get back into that sort of, I don't know, I stopped writing poetry for a while after I published it. I carried on, and then I sort of stopped. I just weaned off of it a little bit. After that, I'd gone to college, so I'd spent a lot of time, I spent so much time doing acting at college, and it was like 9 till 5. So I was exhausted. I come home and I was absolutely like flattened. I I had no energy to sit there and write poems, but I loved writing. That was my passion, really. And I ended up leaving acting and doing writing instead, because it was too much. It was far too much on my like unwell body. But I did get back into writing poetry again, and it sort of just brought me back into that peaceful state when I could write this poem again. And the poem that I wrote, I had to take myself back to sort of my relapses and my dark times again, because that was what the episode was going to be about. So I needed to bring myself back. But then it sort of showed me, actually, I have come really far. And from coming back now, I could tell that from looking back to when I first joined, I have changed and grown so much as a person. I mean, apart from the fact that I was made homeless and then had to live in a hostel, live independently, which made me mature anyway, but I've grown as a person. I'm much happier. I'm much more defined. I sort of know who I am a bit now. I'm stronger mentally. I mean, I was sort of taking the brunt of everything then, and I was just accepting it, although I was fighting as much as I possibly could for people to listen. But now I feel like I don't need to do that as much. People around me are more understanding, and they sort of, it's definitely my boyfriend. He knows me so well, and he's really supportive. And so yeah, I feel much better now. And so coming back now and doing it now, it's like this massive change, and I can just see, and it gives me this great sense of achievement and like pride that I have managed to sort of see my way out like the worst end of it. And yeah, I love that I was a part of it then in my worst times, and now I'm a part of it now, and I feel like I'm excelling. I'm in my sort of prime time, as it were.
Well, were there new challenges for episode 2?
I suppose there was a challenge, really, in the respect that I had to so after not writing for quite a long time, I had to get back into the mentality of writing and fitting it to what the episode was going to be. So you sort of structured it out a little bit, what it was going to entail, and I wrote the poem solely based on my experiences, but so that it would fit with the tone. And that in itself is quite, I mean, it's not impossible, but it is quite a difficult thing to do, really, because say if I was feeling really happy or whatever and I want to write a poem, my mentality instantly wants to write a sort of upbeat poem. Or if I'm really depressed, sometimes it will be really overly depressed, that it's sort of like it lowers the tone. Or it is hard, it's hard to capture the tone perfectly, but once I did and eventually got it and I felt proud of it and I sent it over to you, I got this huge sense of pride and achievement because I've overcome something again. And so yeah, there was a few challenges with the writing of it, and challenges of bringing myself back to where I needed to be able to write it. But other than that, I thought the whole thing was brilliant, really. I mean, I don't have as many difficulties as a lot of other people because I'm all the way in England and I've just got to do the poetry part. But yeah, I can imagine what some of it's like with the editing and with the lighting and with the actual crewing of it, because I've done that at college and that is hard. It's really hard.
Highlight so far?
My highlight has definitely been coming to the premiere, of course, and just meeting everyone, seeing everyone, putting sort of, I mean, I obviously knew what you looked like, but actually seeing you in person, the person who's helped me come out of this sort of rut, the person who's given me like hope, that was the best part for me, really, actually coming and you being a real person. And like my mum thought that it might be weird and like I've just started talking to this random person on the internet, and then she had all of these thoughts and I was like, no mum, definitely not, like definitely not. I was in an ME group, like I was trying to explain it to her, and then it wasn't until she spoke to you and she understood, she was like, oh yeah, okay. But actually coming, it being real, it was just amazing, and it all like ended so well and brilliantly, and I loved the actual show of watching it, and yeah, it was just amazing. That was definitely my highlight. Yeah.
Last one, and this is your free reign question. What are you hoping to achieve?
I am hoping that this particular that these episodes achieves awareness more than anything. I really hope that it makes its way around schools. That is the main thing that I want to come from this, or like even to be sent round as a training sort of documentary in ME, because there is not enough information about it, and it's really sort of, it is very common but it's unknown. It's common but people just don't know enough about it to sort of support the people going through school, and that is the hardest part, I think, definitely for me, was going through school. College is a little bit different, it's tailored completely different, you have much more one-on-one support, you know, there's just more funding available, I suppose, with colleges with what they can do. But definitely there needs to be an understanding that school children, they are malleable, but they are like, they're not robots. I mean, like, we are prone to illnesses, we are prone to mental health illnesses, and with ME it's invisible. I mean, like, you can't see it. You can see it in respect that I'll be like a zombie. Sometimes I don't even know what you're saying to me because my brain is so foggy, I'm so tired, I can't focus. I mean, that was every day for me. I was just a walking zombie back then. And so there needs to be an understanding. I mean, I was like basically shunned and not welcome back into school because I'd had so much time off. There was no understanding, and I really hope that this when it's finished, or these episodes now that are coming through, just sort of exacerbate the need for understanding, and the need for actually seeing someone in that state and knowing the background and how it affects them at home and things like that. And a lot of people, they put on a cover as well, they put on a mask to try and stop people from thinking that they're like ill, or you know. And especially at school, I did for a long time, and then when I actually asked for help, no one believed me. Then so I just think that I really hope that teachers and schools and colleges as well take from this an opportunity to learn and to help school children not to feel the same way that I did. And I expect you had the same circumstances. I mean, I know lots of people now with ME because I've branched out, who all had very similar, very unsettled and sad times at school when they missed the best parts of their lives. I mean, I know now loads of people who hated school, like, had no problems. They miss it so much, but I could never miss school because they ruined that for me. It completely did. And so, yeah, that is what I hope happens with this.